Chapter 576, Earthshaking Changes. This chapter is updated by novels.pl. The monks of the Chins were surprised. They would never have thought that Bukion would dare to launch attacks against East Region Saint mansions. How dare you attack the Saint Prince's mansion? Bukion, don't you want to live anymore? A Chen family general at the completion of Heaven Realm lifted up a 500 kilograms war knife and chopped at a brute elephant. A man sitting on the brute elephant's back suddenly struck the spiritual crystal box behind the brute elephant. Crash! The spiritual crystals in the box were flung off due to the palm power. Before this, all everyone had seen was a layer of spiritual crystals in the box. Unbeknownst to them, there was a load of God Fire Thunder bombs under the spiritual crystals. The box was specially processed and arranged with inscription arrays, so nobody could have discovered the God Fire Thunder bombs at the bottom of the box in advance. Boom! The God Fire Thunder bombs abruptly exploded and formed a mass of fire clouds. With a crackling sound, dense lightning streaked from cloud to cloud and struck in all directions. In an instant, the brute elephant and the man of sacrifice disintegrated and turned into fly ash. The Chins suffered heavy casualties and serious wounds. The power released by the load of God Fire Thunder bombs blew up the descendants of the Chins who were within 33 meters of it. Most of them were badly mutilated and died instantly. Only a few people of profound cultivation survived, but not without serious injury. A single load of God Fire Thunder bombs had caused such considerable damage. Boom! Brute elephants were running toward the Saint Prince's mansion with 1,200 loads of God Fire Thunder bombs. 100 of those loads were already ignited. The area outside the Saint Prince's mansion had become a sea of flame. Numerous descendants of the Chins died unnaturally. Kill. The 5,000 guards who had followed Bukion to escort the dowry were actually men of sacrifice trained by the black market. Moreover, at this moment, numerous black market evil warriors rushed out from among the matchmaking processions of the four major saint gentries. At that moment, they all rushed forward and began killing the Chins. Everyone was stunned, unable to comprehend what was happening. What are you waiting for? The black market evil warriors have reached our gate. White-robed Elder Chen Xikan roared harshly. Don't let those brute elephants rush in, otherwise, the Saint Prince's mansion will be damaged. Hurry and initiate the defender array. Green-robed Elder Chen Tankun shouted. Another branch head, Chen Ji, stared at Bukion who was a short distance away and screamed. No matter who you are, you will die for attacking the Chins. Chen Ji was very old, but he was incredibly fast. After all, he was a half-saint. He shook gently. He suddenly appeared in front of Bukion and struck out his palm. A half-saint's attack was formidable. Let alone Bukion. Even 10 Bukion could be killed by this attack. Yet Bukion simply crossed his arms, laughed scornfully, and stood still. Quack quack, Chenji, your death will be swift. A husky voice was heard from behind Bukion. This was followed by a ball of green ghost flame. In the haze, a black-robed elder seemed to stand in the fire with disheveled hair and a skeleton-like face. The black-robed elder gave off a bitter, ice-cold air. Like a black cave, he absorbed all of the spiritual chi of the universe. Seeing the black shadow in the ghost flame, Chenji's old face was aghast. He cried out in alarm. Ghost Saint. Chenji withdrew his palms and hurriedly retreated, trying to escape. Want to escape? Can you run away? Your death is coming. The black figure waved a blood soul banner and dragged Chenji into a mass of evil wind. Bang! As he waved the banner again, Chenji's body exploded and turned into a fog of blood. The banner absorbed the bloody fog and became more ice-cold. It oozed a chilling atmosphere, turning the surrounding 500-kilometer area pitch dark. The black ghost shadow stood in the air and held the blood soul banner. He looked like Yama from hell. He was the notorious ghost saint, Orange Star Emissary's master. On the other side, hundreds of brute elephants were running toward the Saint Prince's mansion like a tsunami. They rushed in all directions drawing the God Fire Thunder bombs. Boom, boom. Incessant crackles sounded in the Saint Prince's mansion. The ground kept shaking with the sound of collapse and screams. Countless buildings were damaged and numerous people were killed by the God Fire Thunder bombs in the Saint Prince's mansion. At that moment, the dark clouds above suddenly burned up and turned into a mass of scarlet flaming clouds. Swoosh! A burning meteorite flew from extraterrestrial planets, past clouds, and fell down to the East Region Saint Mansions. All of a sudden, doomsday seemed to have come. Everyone was overwhelmed by the aura of the burning meteorite. Some warriors with low cultivation directly lay on their stomachs. Zhang Yuochen stood on the ground and stared at the sky with narrowed eyes. He finally saw the burning meteorite clearly. It was not a meteorite but a flaming warhammer. A man had thrown out the warhammer from outer space. If the warhammer hit the East Region Saint Mansions, it would cause terrible damage. Swoosh! A thick light column thrust up from the center of the Saint Prince's mansion and pierced through the clouds, connecting heaven and earth. In the next moment, a layer of white light screen rose from the ground and enveloped the Saint Prince's mansion. The first-level defender array of the East Region Saint Mansions had been initiated. Meanwhile, the warhammer hit the first-level defender array and damaged the huge light screen. Bang! Just a short moment later, the first-level defender array was broken through by the warhammer. With a boom, the flaming warhammer hit the gate of the East Region Saint Mansions. In an instant, the gate was smashed and a 100-meter diameter pit on the ground was left in its place. Black smoke billowed from the huge pit and cracks began to spread in multiple directions. All the buildings within 5 kilometers of the pit collapsed and turned into ruins. If the first level of the defender array had not warded off the warhammer for a little while, it would have caused more terrible damage. Swoosh! A 4.3-meter tall burly man flew out of the black pit and suspended in the air carrying a scarlet warhammer. He was completely on fire and looked like a peerless god of war. Hammer Saint! Someone had recognized the burly man and exclaimed, "So this is Hammer Saint." No wonder the strike force was so fearsome. Zhang Yuochen was suddenly enlightened. Meanwhile, he got a little worried. Since Ghost Saint and Hammer Saint were here together, the black market was obviously well prepared. Would there be some more fearsome evil saints? Just as he was thinking about this, he sensed that someone was staring at him. He looked over and met Hammer Saint's eyes. "Zhang Yuochen, pay for my apprentice with your life." Hammer Saint became a beam and soared into the sky. He waved the flaming warhammer and aimed for Zhang Yuochen's head. Hammer Saint was green-robed emissary's master. In order to seek revenge for his apprentice, he personally came to kill Zhang Yuochen. Zhang Yuochen felt as if he were immobilized by a huge pressure before Hammer Saint's attack. The surrounding space appeared to be frozen. He bore more and more pressure as if his bones were about to be crushed. "If you want to kill my junior fellow apprentice, you have to defeat me first." Second elder brother Zhongtao shouted and spit out a heavy holy sword. He brandished the sword from a distance and formed a waterfall of sword chi, forcing Hammer Saint to retreat. At the same time, third senior brother Wonk appeared right next to Zhang Yuochen. He grabbed Zhang Yuochen's shoulder and dragged him backward. Boom! A black ghost claw hit the place right where Zhang Yuochen had been standing, leaving a huge claw-shaped pit tens of meters long. If Wonk had not saved him, Zhang Yuochen would probably have been killed by the ghost claw. Ghost Saint stood above the huge claw-print pit and said hoarsely, "Today, nobody can save Zhang Yuochen. Whoever dares to hinder me will die." Boom! Second elder brother flew down and stood before Zhang Yuochen, forming two huge pits on the ground. He carried a holy sword as wide as a door plank on his shoulders. "I'm afraid that you two cannot kill my junior fellow apprentice." Like Yama and God of War, Ghost Saint and Hammer Saint stood in two different locations on the void space. Zhongtao alone stood before Zhang Yuochen and Wonk. He looked murderous and the power he displayed was on par with the 2 cents of the black market. This time, the black market was indeed well prepared and managed to surprise the Juns. The Juns suffered great losses in the shortest time. Even the West Gate was smashed. By now, however, the Juns had been completely roused and had initiated all the 18 levels of the defender array. In the meantime, all of its half-cents and saints had run out of the mansion and were now standing on its wall. From afar, one could see dozens of saint figures. All of them were peerless superiors like true gods. No one had dared to provoke the Juns over the years. The sudden attack of the black market threw the Juns into confusion but did not hurt their foundation. However, its gate was destroyed, many young people had been killed, and a half-saint had even died at the gate. The black market had severely humiliated and embarrassed the Jins. Ghost Saint, Hammer Saint, how dare you cause trouble with the Jins? Believe it or not, you won't be able to go back today. A saint from the Jins spoke coldly. Ghost Saint laughed grimly and said, our black market came here for Zhang Yuochen. Of course, since we are here, we had to teach you a lesson in passing to let you know who the dominator of the eastern region really is.